askew atop the metal grid. I feel the red liquid all over my hand. I touch the crimson substance to my mouth. Why is there red liquid all over me? I wipe my brow. I discover that my face is completely covered in what I am assuming is tomato juice. Why would somebody throw a glass bottle of tomato juice at me while I'm on stage? To my shock, horror, and amazement, my face is not covered in tomato juice. My face is completely covered in my own blood. In front of 20,000 people. Opening up for my heroes, Aerosmith. I am standing on stage in front of a packed arena with my face and hands covered in my own blood. I see red, not from the blood in my eyes, but from the anger in my heart. General admission crowds are by nature crazy. When there are no chairs at a concert and thousands of people crush together into one sweaty, rocking crowd, things can get out of control all too easily. I look into the seething mass of highly charged rock and rollers on the arena floor in front of me. I start to utter the infamous rap, as viewed millions of times now on YouTube. Who in the fuck threw that? About 10 guys circle around one guy. They're all pointing at him. They're all shouting at me. It was him! It was him! Was that you, cocksucker? The man in the middle of the other 10 says nothing. He looks straight at me and extends his middle finger in the gesture commonly known as fuck you. What happens next is the first chink in the armor of Skid Row, of stardom. This is the exact moment when my childhood dream shows the first sign of an adult nightmare. I had spent at least 7 or 8 years previous to this moment playing in clubs, bars, saloons, playing 3 sets a night, cover tunes, to drunk rock and rollers in Quebec and Northern Ontario, Canada. Fighting was just a part of the scene that I had been in for years now. I did not know any other way to respond. But this was not a club. This was a packed arena full of approximately 20,000 people. Not a place where I could act in the only way I had known how to act previously. My life had changed, but I was not mature enough at the time to realize that I had to change with it. I say into the mic, everybody get the fuck back. I motion with my hands for everybody to move out of the way of this guy, whose ass I most certainly intended to kick. I pick the glass bottle up off the stage. I walk as far back to the drum riser as I can to get a good run at my nemesis. The song we are about to play is called Piece of Me. Never could I have realized that the song would be taken literally by a deranged fan, by me, by myself. I stare into the man's face as he tells me again to fuck off. I am completely enraged and am not about to let him win this fight. I then do the unthinkable. I throw the glass bottle back into the crowd, at the man with his middle finger raised in the air. Problem is, this is a general admission crowd, and although I did not know this at the time, I would later learn that the bottle did not hit its intended target. I run with all of my power toward the lip of the stage. I jump off the stage, flying through the air, and plant my Cuban-heeled beetle boot straight into the man's jaw, breaking it immediately. I start flailing my fists at the man whose jaw I just broke. I am standing on an arena floor, packed with 10,000 people, and I am literally trying to fight all of them. After a minute or two, I am dragged off the man by security, back onto the stage to the incredulous stares of my fellow bandmates. We once again attempt to launch into the song Piece of Me. Sleazing in the city while I'm looking for a fight. I'm on my heels and looking pretty on a Saturday night. I wail it into the microphone, in my heels, in the city, looking for a fight. Some may even have called me pretty. I headbang and spray blood and sweat all over the front row. We finish the show with my face covered in blood, pouring from the open wound in my head. Convinced that all is well, happy with our literally ass-kicking performance, the band proceeds with our nightly ritual of drinking and smoking. But tonight will prove to be different than the other nights. We make a hasty retreat to the bus as soon as the show is over. Management wants us out of the building as soon as possible. More precisely, they want us out of the state as soon as possible. We know why, but dude, that dude deserved it, dude. I sit in the front lounge and continue to bleed all over myself. The gash in my scalp is far bigger than I had realized while on stage. It's a good inch or more long on top of my head, on the top of my scalp. My hair and face are caked in blood. Dave the Snake Sabo sits across from me. He pours us both a drink. He tries to cheer me up. I begin to cry. The bus driver, a great man by the name of Kenny Barnes, is under instructions from our managers Doc and Scott McGee to get us over state lines as quick as possible. We speed through town, sipping our drinks and ready to do it all again in the next town on the next night. We try to tell ourselves, hey man, this is rock and roll. We don't make it too far. We suddenly realize we are being followed by several Massachusetts state troopers. Silently, behind our bus, many of them. Kenny, the bus driver, is freaking out. As are we all, especially me. Our bus ride comes to an abrupt end. The state troopers put on their cherry lights and sound the sirens. We are pulled over into the parking lot of a strip mall, just short of the state line, if I recall correctly. The bus is in the middle of a parking lot. The state troopers have us completely surrounded. They are spread out in a wide circle, equidistant between one another. Each cruiser has its high beams on, sirens flashing, with all of the headlights pointed directly at us. The lights are shining through the tour bus, making the interior of the bus bright white, not unlike the scene with that little boy in the house from the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind. This, however, was a close encounter of the worst kind. After about an hour or so, the law comes onto the bus. For me. I am handcuffed and led off my plush leather couch into the harsh glare of 10 or so Massachusetts state trooper cruisers. I am completely unaware of the full weight of what had happened tonight. I get into the back of the police car, joking around with the state troopers. I remain handcuffed, bleeding, and slightly buzzed. The troopers are not amused. Why'd you do it? They ask me. Do what? I reply. Surely these cops were like any other policeman I have known. Most of them are rock and roll fans, like everybody else I seem to meet. Surely these boys in blue would have my back, dude. How could I not go whoop some ass on the guy who pitched a glass bottle at me? Couldn't they see the blood in my hair? The open wound on the top of my head? What's the problem, officers? I say, not ready for their answer. How could you do it, man? What? She's hurt. The girl in the crowd. The girl whose nose you broke. Huh? Yeah, you fucking asshole. You whip a bottle off the stage and hit her in the face. You broke her nose. You break a guy's jaw, too. How in the fuck could you do that? Hurt a girl. I slumped into the back of the police car. I could not believe what I was hearing. I could not believe what I had done, the damage I had caused. I had hurt an innocent girl in the melee. A fan of rock and roll, the thing I held most dear to my heart. Rock and roll is supposed to be fun, the most fun you ever had. Rock and roll is what you listen to get away from all of the bad stuff. It's not supposed to be the bad stuff. All of this pain, all of this destruction was because of my fucked up behavior. Yeah, there is no doubt I was indeed a total asshole that night. As I thought of a bottle crushing into a fan's face thrown by me, I hung my bloody head in shame in the back of the police car and wept. All I have ever wanted to do is entertain people with music, with singing, with my voice. I have never in my life ever tried to be a bad boy. All I have ever tried to be is good. The doors on my jail cell clinked shut that night with a resounding thud. I sat in my cell and I pondered the severity of my actions, the irony of my circumstance. We are the youth gone wild, indeed, but at what cost? Hang on, this is a bonus audio moment regarding this. I was told back when all of this happened in 1989, when I was in court, that I was never to contact the girl who I hurt because it was legally not right for me to do that. And I'm just going to put it out there right now. I'm contacting you and I'm saying sorry. I'm sorry, okay? As a person, I am extremely sorry. And I don't know if this will make the cut of this book, but I'm throwing it in there. I'm very sorry.